Okay, I might be a jerk. Okay, I am a jerk, but do people really talk about their feelings like this every time a conflict happens? I never did that. Rule number 1 of life, never talk about your feelings. Or maybe I just don't have any friends. Which I don't need. Or maybe it's just because I'm a pathetic human being who doesn't open myself up to accept the possibility of a real connection that can make myself feel better and help me get a more healthy life mentally. Nah, people are just jerks and the best life is to live alone. Fuck you all, Homo sapiens! Superman and Lois is back with another season and it continues to do what it does best while trying out new things with the series. Are those new things better or worse? One thing is for sure, they still got it when it comes to what they've done so well up to this point. Characters and the interactions between them. The show is still a family drama in which the man of the family just so happened to be Superman. The show is still focusing on their lives and the people around them in Smallville. Their interactions, their everyday life is the real story, while the plot of Superman saving the day from an evil nemesis is just cherry on top and really adds a lot more flavor to the dish as it is just coexisting so perfectly. The series focuses on everyday life problem that each character is facing, and despite the godlike power, the hero's biggest challenge is the real life problem, which cannot be solved with their limitless strength. The power of their villains is never the challenge to the protagonist. What saves them time and time again is always their heart and kindness. They have to learn from their mistakes, admit their mistakes, change and evolve as a person in order to keep living a life among humans. At the start of an episode, a conflict will occur for almost all the main characters, and all of them will go through a 40-minute journey that intertwines with each other, and in the end everyone learns from their mistake and grows to become a better person. Nothing is dragged on unnecessarily, and it did play into the future episodes and not just one episode thing. Truly sensational with this part of the show, and probably the biggest reason why this show is such a success. The main villain of this season is It's Bruno Mannheim. So good to finally see another villain taking the spot. Every time it's just Lex, Doomsday, Zod, and Lex all over again. Bruno Mannheim is definitely a villain you would know if you pay a little bit of attention to the comic book lore, but this show made him into such an awesome character. He is basically Victor Freeze. Aside from him being a wealthy savior of his town, he has literally the same story and motivation as Freeze. And this show makes me feel sympathy towards his situation and make me root for the bad guys to get away. And this is done so well as it also incorporates Clark and Lois' story into it. We see how Clark and Lois persevere through another tough time in their life, while also building up the villain's motive and make us understand them even more. The only thing that I can nitpick about Bruno's side of the story is maybe they can show us how bad life is in Hobbs Bay before he brought the changes. That way I could also understand why the people love him so much, instead of just his wife telling us how great he is. But we are shown with him doing all he can to find a cure of cancer to save his people throughout the show, and that is competent enough to make me understand him. But just that little extra could go a long way, but it is great already. This season suffers from what most shows do as the season progresses. The show can only focus on so much main characters, and in order to find new dynamics between them, everyone just started fucking with each other. Are you kidding me? Like literally fucking each other. What the hell? We got 2 new relationships. One is built very well. One is just kinda alright. It is definitely logical and the progress is decent but kinda unnecessary, as it doesn't impact any major storylines and it doesn't show up that often, just here and there bit by bit, and leads to a decent growth of one character. I know TV shows usually have a lot more episodes as they need the revenue through ads, but the first 2 seasons would benefit so much if they just cut out those extra episodes that are unnecessary to the plot. And this season, the number of episodes is being cut down, but somehow they still have this problem. I'm just gonna say it, the last 2 episodes shouldn't be in this season. Episode 11 is already a perfect finish to all the stories. Everything's tied up very well. And the last 2 episodes are completely its own story that has nothing to do with the season's main storyline because it already ended at episode 11. And Lex Luthor? Again? Really? And of course, Doomsday. Just can't live without writing these two, are you? Not fitting into the season aside, just 2 episodes for 2 of the biggest villains in Superman's lore? Comic book lore in general? Are you kidding me? Why not just make Lex and Doomsday the villains of the next season? And this Lex is great, but just doesn't have the feeling of Lex Luthor. You know, Lex is like a bad guy version of Bruce Wayne, a charismatic, charming, smart, but cruel, selfish, and evil. This Lex is basically a boss of a mafia, a gangster, like no charisma, no smart plotting or evil scheme, just a middle-aged tough guy who has a lot of money and underlings. And Doomsday, my god. How is he turning into this monster? How did he lose all his memories? How did he lose all his humanity? How did he become a brainless zombie? How did he become an unlimited revive, make him a stronger and uglier monster Superman? None of this is explained because, as I said, these 2 episodes is like the 4th season being jammed into 2 episodes and got stashed into the last 2 episodes of season 3. Why? What the hell is this? It would have been perfect. With the number of episodes dwindling down a few, you can definitely tell the money is being put into the visuals for the rest of the episodes. It's not like the visuals got amazingly better, just slightly better from time to time, but a lot more special effects are used in this season, and all of them look decent. Even Doomsday looks pretty alright, roughly a PS4 standard. For a TV show, quite impressive, especially after seeing a 200 million plus movie gives us this visual. I gotta say, I had a good time looking at this show, visually. This season remains what made it great while continuing to improve on other areas and even trying out some new things. Not everything works out, but none hurt the show in a major way. The crown jewel is still the characters' interaction. Like even one of the episodes this season has almost no Superman in it. That just proves how good the writing is. The last 2 episodes are not like bad, but just unnecessary and don't fit into this season. And way too rushed with the story. Another amazing villain getting an amazing treatment completely reinvented the character and made him into a very 3-dimensional and well-established character for Superman to fight with. I had an absolute blast watching this season, probably because I'm a Superman fan and a DC crackhead, but it's also because the show is amazing. Not perfect, but so awesome. If you love superhero genre and are still not willing to give a shot at this show because of the Arrowverse, don't worry, this show has nothing to do with whatever you call them. This is definitely watchable and pretty good at times. Even the freaking Atomic Scout made an appearance. I really hope we can get a lot more other less popular characters to show up, but it looks like we're gonna have to deal with Lex and Doomsday again. Hope they do Death of Superman justice and we get like the Death of Superman and all those fake Superman wannabe shows up next season and we could get a mullet Tyler Hoechlin. That would be pretty awesome. Like the Death and Reign of Superman. If you love Superman, go watch those 2. You'll love it, especially The Death of Superman, definitely one of the best Superman animated films. Not that there are a lot of Superman animated films, you know, he's not Batman. That dude got like 4 or 5 animated movies every year and a trilogy every 10 years. Freaking Batsy. And I know the movie universe is trying to stay away from the Arrowverse because they are shite. But Tyler Hoechlin's Superman already proved that it doesn't fit into the Arrowverse in the finale of season 2, so I mean it would be pretty awesome to see Tyler Hoechlin's Superman in the flesh, but no, I'm not gonna complain. That movie gave me hell of a fun time and this show is still amazing, so keep doing what you're doing.
Move along.